the souls of all good living things, making you straw men or courage the cowardly lion, following Dorothy and Toto down yellow brick Constantine lanes. Corona eclipse crowning, illusion to Elysium we are drowning, lies and legal fictions a bust, only in my ancestors' name, with we the people I trust. I am truth, love, shadow and light. In my majestic presence all the lies spring into flight. For who is a master who cannot admit truth? Who is an OG who does not teach the youth? Who is the civilized man that acts so uncouth? What is the burning flame inside you, thirsty for the truth, the truth?
Take my time. You come in and say greetings or hi, unless you're a foreigner or an Indian. Nobody's foreign on earth to me. Yeah. People are going to do what they do. I just wanted to hit off a little bit of the beautiful music I was listening to last night. Got a few more, but I'm not going to play those now. So enjoy.
And my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. It's time for a change, got a bounce up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma lay him out, execution style's too late, but apologetic claim. You wrapped in a cloak of flame by God, it's over. Doing your time is in the end. Locked out silent without sin. He put me on the ladder for justice to win. The rest is about to get rolled down with some presses attached in the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger popping like Theracone. Backed by the honorable who sits at the pinnacle, who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the plentiful simple. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the Glock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand or kneels. Too late when the caps get bills. Don't believe in TC type. Born hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome when the sun was on. All red on my pictures through sight. It's killer be killed whenever I write. From above, I'll be given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' burn them out.
Alexander.
3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in the ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme.
What's up, baby?
Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere, big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped.
I'm waiting for my cat to start going. So, how y'all doing today? I'm gonna go ahead and get started. You know, this is one of my sons and one of my daughters, right? This is the latter two, James and Jael. I make gods. No, that goddess stuff is unnecessary. I make gods. All right. And he's about 6 something. She's about 5'7", 8. Well, almost. Well, she's a little about an inch and a half. Two. She's about 2. I'm 5'10". She's 5'8", something around there. And love the fuck out of them. But their mama was broken. Half Boricua, and then half Chickasaw, and Anihuia, and Dutch. Yes, I have Chinese in the family, but it's married in, not my bloodline though. But they're my blood as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Well, as you know, I went and looked at the stats of the podcast, and it's doing good, and I appreciate it. I love and I appreciate everybody coming in there. I want to salute y'all who showed up. I'm gonna keep it tight on the thumbnail, but we seem to have this issue. It's with everybody, I believe. You know, I suffered it a long time, and there are times when I see something I just don't, you know, but I go back. I guess you call it circling around. I think I was going to mention this last night. Another one of our issues, we got here because of AD or ADHD, attention deficit disorder, hyper attention deficit disorder. We are so conflicted in this world with so much that we don't even know how to focus on ourselves. You see what I'm saying? It's hard for us to find this relationship of self. So how can we truly have one? Supportive. You know, I'm not into talking Indian. We are beyond that. You know, it was 25 years ago when I pointed out to a whole lot of friends of mine in New York. Well, I did it in Florida, but New York, and then I went the Vineland, Camden. Then I went down to I went to Delaware, and everywhere I went, I asked this question because when something's on my mind, it's on my mind. And I says, when did Hindustan become India? They didn't know. So some of you know, y'all might have went back probably a couple hundred videos and seen where I expressed, and I explained it in detail. In the so-called century, very recent, mind you. Yes, around the time of the Belfort Agreement. But before that was not India. So, and then, you know, why did I do that? Because I read a plethora of books on Hindustan. And then sometime when it became common knowledge, I saw after World War II, or in that period where it started to be mentioned, you know, the Messy Jesse and them talking about African American, yet it was never scripted, never nowhere in writing. Then all of a sudden I went back on microfiche before everything was digitized, and I started seeing it pop up as if they were utilizing this for people to get scripted in. There's a grafting that takes place with these people that most people don't pay attention to. So I had this little conversation with this Navajo, who I think he thought he was very smart. He was being very underhanding and everything. And he wasn't drunk, so he was literally, you know, it's not about violence. He really, really believes who he think is. And when I said, when y'all came from the Fort Fires and the government gave you that land, that was in the 1900s. You weren't there before that. And then the moment you got there, you called it Navajo Mountain. That's not the name of that mountain. That mountain has no name. I said, y'all know when you came here from Fort Defiance, do you know why? Do you know the boarding schools buildings that were accosted and then utilized for y'all, and how many of you people were buried in the back of those buildings? Older, who didn't want to change the narrative, who still remembered? And how many, the youth or younglings, once they were conditioned, were given a Hopi land, you actually had fights and skirmishes against them. As the Hopi women who are still alive expressed to me. That's why they have disdain for them, utter disdain. And they weren't the only Navajo. There was a couple other made-up tribes because our people had departed. Now, You can live a lie, but for so long, right? So I expressed to y'all about Remfan, right? I did a video on that. I've discussed this for many years. While I lived on the res and actually in the military, we had AO1 Koenig, a fake Jew, drank cokes, smoked cigarettes. Oh, he's not alive. But I used to ask him, what's the Star of David? And he used to laugh. Don't ask me, because he was real geeky, nerdy. Don't ask me that Jewish S, you know. No, I'm an ordnance man. You know, he was a pot-belly, skinny, brown-nosing, as we say, pie-hole kissing cocksucker. Okay? For those who are old swabs like myself, or Simple Fidelis, my Marine brethren. Hoorah and hooyah, okay? And he wouldn't have no parts of that. He was pretty much an atheist. When I asked him what's Zionism, he said, oh, it's that Herzl guy. So he was just a regular old, true, pale-skinned, red-blooded American. And I used to get on about the red blood. I said, no, you're not red-blooded until you bleed. And he's like, you're always into that medicine stuff. So he never gave me a hard time. All right. I was not one. Power lifter, martial arts. He couldn't wait to see me box somebody in the hangar bay and knock him out and all that. So, but he was, and it was many like that around me. Okay. Now I had respect for these people, as crazy as that sounds. All right. But he was asking me, why is it that you think this is not all in? Because it's not. Hell, I'm the heir to this land. Hell, the land of Europe. Named after one of my ancestors. A female. It was with the both, the male and female. But they used that name because the name was not the name of the land. See, when you're an identity theft, and then you conscript your own concoction, now it's darker than that. These are the things that come from it. And when you realize that you can undo everything and establish yourself to be the dominant, when it was never about that, none of us, you must bring everybody else into that. That's energy. That's vampirism. Now, it's kind of real, y'all. If we could gather energy out of the Hithmis, right? And we're part of that, can't they take your energy? Where do you think the whole thing of Bram Stoker and Dracula comes from? See, cannibalism is real. I asked you to look up the desert devils. I doubt any of you did, as usual. That's why I call my cat Alexander, but he will not be betrayed by his cousin, who let these bastions out long ago when they were locked away because of this sickness. And I pointed out some key factors. I gave them the date and time when they were let out of Fort Defiance and brought to this land, and why the government gave it to them. Not only to farm the uranium that you could literally pick up walking down the dirt roads, literally laying from ancient wars. Oh, it was all over. They were gathered in big potato sacks, and yes, look it up. Many of them perished because of that, and family elements and a whole lot of stuff, inbreeding and stuff like that. And so he was on his big old iPhone and he was Googling this stuff, and he was like, how do you know this? I said, it's for me to know. If it was for you to know, you wouldn't be astute in carrying yourself as you do. I want you to carry your head up. But if you only knew the truth of the land you really come from, and the power y'all exuded, and the dynasty and the kingdom that we all visited each other. But obviously I know that you're not of this land because you don't know the truth of history. And I know that you were conditioned. And a couple other things. He didn't have no disrespect. He really wanted to hear what I have to say. Hopefully he'll come and watch the video. And he was very attentive. Unlike y'all will not watch the ads. Thank you, Rondo, for letting me know that they put up there an ad talking about I stand with Israel. I don't stand with no fake ass place. That means I don't have no laurels, or no, I don't stand on my 10s with my 215s. And so I reached out, so I have to go to AdSense and I have to change that. I'm not into, YouTube is not supposed to be a political database if they want to sit here and censor people and firearms and everything else. Otherwise, if you're out there in Europe or wherever you are, YouTube, you need to go ahead and remove your whole platform. But I know there's billions of people utilizing it for many different perversions. So I was looking at the view time and I was like, okay, it's not bad. At 3 hours, I was surprised. I thought it was 2 hours and 45 minutes. I'm going to start getting the podcast down to around an hour. I have to. Okay, so there's going to be things written down. This has to be done. And people have to know there's a time crunch to be able to express what needs to be expressed. Because this is not class where I have to teach you etiquette and how to speak. You know what you need to say, because it's always a point. This is not to be hurtful. This is to better our people, to bring our people into a better establishment of existence. And then it's had 190 something view hours, and I did the math, and I was like, wow, some of y'all just zipping through. That means a lot of you will never get anything because you're not paying attention to nothing. You suffer from hyper attention deficit disorder. I would advise any of you that watch the video to go back and watch it in its entirety. I don't care about what you think of Phil. Stop watching Sexy Red and, you know, my booty holes stanking or the brown, whatever it is, and stop worrying about Cat Williams and stop worrying about Shay Shay. Stop worrying about who's playing, who's got in the end zone. Stop worrying about Nagano getting ready to fight this other guy. Start processing the time and respectfully where you're at and what you're dealing with. And a lot of times you'll be surprised. I can't show firearms and ammo and all that kind of stuff, but I can show other things. I may start dropping T, and there'll be you individuals who choose to forego because of your hyper attention deficit disorder. Okay, that you'll miss these things. I may even pick the thing up and show you how to make a fire with some homemade stuff. I may even show you one of my drawings of one of my inventions. A whole bunch of my, I shall not. Somebody said, you ain't read. I'm going to upload a lot of videos. The other one didn't upload. I got to go and see. Well, I asked them and they says, oh, I could have because the internet went out. So I had to get rid of it and just upload the video again. So my King James demonology read, because I want to keep those under 30 minutes. And I hope you're really listening and paying attention. But I'm going to actually start reading this stuff here, because it seems like a lot of you are very religious. Are you aware that 5 rings is from our people, the Anu? It is for those who want to use the word religion, which is based off of theology, which is from theosophy, which has no real intentions of practical use, because most of you are very ignorant to words and stuff. I don't mean that in a way to be bringing harm or afflicting you. But yes, I started off reading this. The secret science of the sacred secretion, so you'll know what the Christ factor and everything else. When we get into the book Atlantis and read the several books, the Vegetas and all that, all those books that go with it, and you'll have a greater understanding. Now, I'm not going to share those books because a lot of you won't be able to interpret it. How many of you got about 20-something years of yoga use and Shaolin, Buddhism and Kung Fu, and no, literally not word games, like practical. You know, I keep my little 2 monk outfits when I trained for several years. We'll get into facts are facts. Arthur Kessler. I actually been highlighting the 2 of these and reading them together over the last 2.5 weeks. So, as you know, one is by Benjamin H. Friedman. Freedman does not mean a slave that got freed. It means a freed individual, as always. And they took our name on. That is not an Ashkenazi or a Jewish name. Just like Brown, that's our name. Levi, Lee, even the Chinese took that on. It has nothing to do with Lee, because you don't know. I cannot change. No, there's a lot of stuff that might allude to something other. I mean, if you go look at any Jewish writings of the last 30 years, 40 years, they wrote themselves in as if they're real and dismiss everything that shows that they're not. and they murder their own who write against them. Those 2 books I will use. I won't use all 7. I will also read Timothy Alberino, Birthright. Now, this is going to be a day thing. Why? Well, I'm going to choose a day, and I'm going to sit down, because I love Manny P. Hall and about 12 other individuals who I sit around and listen for 11 to 12 hours. And I do it more than once. The Complete Guide to Astrology. Understanding yourself, your signs, your birth chart, because all of that has been stolen and consummated into things that really are not applicable to you. Why? Because it removes your time. I'm going to read that. Then we'll get to the Day of Deceit. We already know about Mr. FDR, what role he played, where his wife stood. And I'm actually got to highlight some stuff in there, so throw that up there. Then we'll get into the Genesis conspiracy. Oh, this is all about religion, regardless of how you may want to see it, or real-time or world affairs or events, based on the curriculum of the life you live right now. Okay? Gary Wayne, phenomenal. Actually, I only read like about 45 pages, and I'm already stuck. Now, this one right here, I actually read this 2 weekends ago after I got the book. I sit down and I put it on my little thing. It's over there. It's my little art thing that I lay up in bed and draw on when I have a good idea. I keep it by my bed, because sometimes I sit up and I get an idea. I wake up like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I got to draw that. I got to write that down. I can't show you those. But anyway, I'll put that book on there. And so with my little black glove over there, and open the book and be very coy and hold it and read it just like this. When it has the tribulation begun, the questions are aspiring. This is by Amir Safarte. And if you want to get that book, I will hold it up. You may purchase it. Excellent read. Okay. I'm not beat for fear mongering, but there's information. There are key beneficial puzzle pieces in there. What does that have to do with this? Y'all, if y'all still calling that Star of David, you're not too smart. Stop calling it Star of David. I'm going to get into that. Let me finish here, please. No attention deficit disorder. And for you guys with the hyper, relax. Just inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Inhale for 4 seconds. You know why you do that? When I was training to go into the teams, I was training to get into the demolition, right? The teams, frogman, SEALs, if you want to call it. I was training for a year. And though I could swim very good, and I was a lifeguard when I was a youth, out in the ocean, where there's nothing where to put your feet down, when you've been swimming for about 40 minutes, like I used to train 40 minutes to an hour swimming in the ocean, I would panic sometimes. And one of the exercises a dear beloved frogman, Red Cell, security, they'd murdered half his family and got him messed up. But he won. He beat the government. He told me what to do. And a good brother of mine who was in my squadron was SEER, Search and Rescue. He's the one that got me into the helicopter dump tank and all that stuff. Because I was really training to become a SEAL. Not to be the gazelle, not to be the best. I didn't want to reach a limit. I wanted to get to a point where I was comfortable knowing that I could probably go very farther than that. And they taught me that, to calm myself while floating. It's kind of salty, so you can float pretty good for those who don't know how to kick their legs to stay afloat, okay? And I was able to calm down, and not the fear of drowning left. I mean, if you drown, you drown. So, this right here is Rumen Alam, Leave the World Behind, the Book of an Era, this, as far as what the Independent has to say. Pretty intriguing. Then, we will get into the day approaching, an Israeli's message of warning and hope for the last days. Now, this is again by Amir, right here, as you see right here. These 2 books I got from him. I actually got 4 books, but these are the 2 that y'all helped purchase. The other 2 I bought. Man, I'll share that when I read them. I read them. By the same author. The last book, which will be read with the first 4, and 2 downstairs, the book of Enoch. I have 2 different ones, the Torah and the Talmud, and the book of Lilith and the Dragon, which is downstairs. It's a very short book, if anybody ever read it. It's very short. It's like that thick. Lilith and the Dragon is a very small, but it is phenomenal. I will be reading this with it. Now, there's more than 54 books for those who are very wise and actually apply. And don't just listen to everybody reading to you, but I'll read them, and I won't be so much breaking everything down. I'll be giving what I believe might be phonetically appropriate. Because there's a lot of you still very religious. I'm not telling you not to be, but you don't even know where the word religion comes from. I've seen some videos of people talking about where the word religion comes from. That is brand new, people. Please. Please. Now, a star, as far as the so-called Star of Remphan, it's not a star, people. There's no such thing as a star. You would think people are smarter than that. You think y'all hold me perch? You saying, no, y'all know all them books downstairs. You know all them books right here around me, and the ones over in the other room and not in the shed. No. I'm surprised nobody donated yesterday. I was going, oh, they're going to donate. We're going to get these books. I don't have hope there. Okay. So I know a lot of you research it. I'm just seeing some people talk about it, and they still haven't mentioned some of the things I've mentioned before, but it is what it is. So, so everybody knows Saturlina, right? You know about who was the monkey that was cut up, his body spread all over the earth, and the courts use her as the goddess, Venus, right? Nimrod, right? So when you go into these fake courts, you see that thing they call that blind justice? It's not what it means. That's the goddess Athenas, another deity. That means surrender all at the door, for I see nothing. But it's the magistrate sitting up there that asserts themselves as a judge, but a magistrate and a judge are 2 different people. If you're not Levitical, which the law book is supposed to be Levitical, and it is not. It has been perverted. Contagious to who? Y'all call them Ashkenaz, Chazars. No, there's other terms for them. Y'all know that by now, right? Right? What was the Bolshevik War about? Why was it important for them to kill off Nicholas Tsar V? Because he wasn't a racist. He wasn't hateful. He had some of our bloodline in him. They had to do away with the old world, just like when they murdered Lincoln. Are y'all aware of this stuff? Well, let's have a look at the circle of life. And I thank Baby Girl Slaughter. Oh, thank you, hon. For the book. She bought 8-1 because I had all the others. And I can't wait to read those. The Ringing Cedars. Yes. About Tartary. Okay? It's based upon the circle of life. You know what y'all call yin and yang? Well, let me tell you about what the Star of Remphan belongs to. The circle of life. Right? Star of Remphan. What does that do? Doesn't that poke holes in everything? This is what I do. I interpret things. Okay? And yet they have everybody believing it's a Star of David. Well, let's pull this up together. I was on my laptop, so let's see if it actually is over here in my history. No, it actually isn't. I have 3 different Gmail Plus, and 2 Gmail accounts, so my apologies. Okay. I still have that. Oh, I'm going to play music again. Sorry about that. I'm going to share the lie. Is the Star of David mentioned in the Bible? No. Who originated the Star of David, since it's not mentioned in the Bible, right? The Magi, astrologers, followed a satanic star that first led them to Herod, who then wanted to murder the infant or child who became known as Jesus Christ, who destroyed Rome, and then made you believe that one of the legions was African, when all of Rome was melanated. The people who were taught and trained, as they stated, the Greeks learned from Egypt. Why do they always lean on Greek? And then they want to throw Portuguese in your face, when the Portuguese was pretty much the same thing. If you check Portuguese words, as far as Latin, go back to Greek. Do you see the confliction? Has anybody ever expressed that to you or showed you that? Why is it that Greek and Egypt are not the old world? Yet they have convinced you so, haven't they? And they have dismissed Atlantis, the fact that all this earth was to get connected, that there are great cities in the depths of the ocean. Why would they want you not to know about that? Because see, if you cannot recall or remember how it came to be, then you are doomed to repeat. Rimfan. So, we know that what they call Hebrew is not Hebrew, okay? Because first of all, they were, what's the telltale signs that most of these pale skins and most of these so-called melanated individuals don't allude to? That's a fact. The fact that they added vowels because they couldn't decipher an ancient language. Well, if you say that you are expelled and you speak a language, even though it's Yiddish and we know where it's from, why would you change a language and then express to everybody that you're the true Israelites when you've had a whole plethora of your people, even ex-rabbis, say, no, you're the 13th tribe, which is not even a tribe. There's no such thing as a 13th tribe. Yet in the very Bible, even in the Tanakh, it tells you who the synagogue of Satan, Hashatan, is. And what is Satan's major job? To convince you that he does not exist, or that he is someone else. Some of you may have looked at the video and actually watched it. I know many of you don't, because you, like I said, you suffer from attention deficit disorder, and you're perplexed with not assisting your brothers who need to come up. But you will support other people out here. You'll watch the videos entirety because you're still part of the cycle and systemic dystopia of betrayal and keeping the enemy on high. Excuse me for the gut punch. Sister words kion, right? Or chion. 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 And Renfam are each hapax. Who remembers the movie Apex? Hapax. Lego, like Legos? Lego men? Do you know what that even means? No, of course not. And there's a debate still going, right? And they say whether they are meant as common or proper nouns, right? Regardless of what all that crap means. There is no stars. Unless you want to support NASA to deceive yourself. If you want to continue on deception, then go right ahead. Let the serpent's song, that's the serpent's song, the little snake in the NASA, that's not about some wild space. The Jetsons had the same thing. The serpent's song, the song. You've forgotten your song and dance. I know. And it's maternal and eternal. It's and paternal. It's not outside. So that's a whole nother. But anyway, There is a general agreement among Bible scholars based on theology, however, that both Remphan and Cheon refer to the planet Saturn. There is no planet Saturn, but there is an Earth, a place that alludes to the place Saturnine. We used to travel. We don't. We used to travel a lot, all over. We don't. Who's to say they didn't come here when we fell to hastily rush that fall? What is Remphan? A pagan deity worshipped by the Israelites in the wilderness. Well, we were never in the wilderness. So, and we're not Israelites, we're Ishmaelites. Judeans. And if you want to keep going with this, we Indian. Well, the first thing they're going to do, because they need to condition you, make you think red is black and black is red, right? So they're going to tell you an origin. Indigo alludes to Greek indikos, which is Indian, as in a dye, right? Well, that's where the term comes because of the color of the dye. In Greek, and indica or indico are Latin and Portuguese, the only places they can go, which would be indigo or indic, would be in the 16th century of English. It has no standing. But what people tend or fail to realize, that the royal, your royal, the royalty of the word indigo is not just what you think it is. So when you think Avatar, the giant trees, the humming and singing, the raising of awareness, the energy, the soul, the source, you have forgotten your song and your dance. You have been eating iron-filled, beryllium, cadmium, all these things outside of yourself, but not the minerals to allow your body to create it. So you've been purposefully in ignorance, poisoned by the toxification of things not required. What does this allude to? ADHD, HADHD. The fact that the majority of you would converse and say that you stand on your laurels. But even with a little old tiny stinky YouTube channel, purchasing books that I pay the majority for, when I have 1,000 followers, you really don't stand for anything, sadly. I don't say that with a gleeful or cheerful heart. I'm not sad either. I've always known that. And for those who have, there's something about you that is the epitome of beyond the fact that you're all real, but you have a connection, and you need to keep that connection going with me. The rest of you need to get outside of yourselves. Stop harboring this ill will of thought and divisive subjugation to their conscience, because it's not your conscience. I know you think you know everything. I'm not here to banter with you about that. I would just love to see people, for once, actually get it together, because you are in your last days, regardless of what you think. And if you are just going to lay down with a yellow stripe up your back and not partake in things that can be beneficial, and sit your children down, because I'm going to stop with the cursing. Let them listen. They're a sponge. You may be hard-headed and solid, your pineal gland calcified. You may have got them jabbed up. I don't know. But in lieu of that, things are very simplistic. They're not complicated. Okay? Yes, I got to go out and pick up some water, people, because I'm about to start my water diet. Baby, that dang on stuff, I shaved my dugong, okay? So excuse the line. Y'all know about this. That's the part of that's the hoodwink. I didn't feel like flattening the things out, so I wouldn't have that. But yeah. I should put my red one on, actually. Excuse me. Damn, I made this, y'all. I made all mine, all these. Where's my crease? Oh, there we go. I gotta pick up some water, so that way I have the water and some organelles, just in case cramping. But yeah, stuff is not complicated. Right now, most of us, not all of us, but most of us are complex and conflicted. We work in Jannah, not in the Hawa. Hawa is like pneumonia, the breath. That's all it is. A lot of you still want to believe in a God outside. He doesn't need you to believe in him. He needs you to believe in yourself. That's why they couldn't remove the staples of ye are gods. That's little. For he is not a God. He is bigger than that. There is no name, no title. It amazes me that that's even a scripture, and yet you bypass it because you're still looking at Charlton Heston and Elizabeth Taylor. Your mind has been conditioned. Black is red and red is black. I am only here to help you access another terminal. You don't have to keep swiping the card at that turnstile. There are other places to get on the train. Okay? I'm not here to sway you. I am only expressing something different. Isn't that what all the teachers do? Don't they? I'm not saying I am. Isn't that what they do? They all teach certain curriculum, but they all have a different way of doing it, right? That's the beautiful thing. Like I said, almost 5 years ago, I accepted who I was. A year and a half after that, I was poisoned. I've been poisoned a few times after that. I don't think y'all get it. If nobody's a threat or danger, and I'm not just nobody, but most of the people doing the poisoning are pretty stupid. They've gotten away with the weakest of the weak. Y'all sit there and talk about the prophets. The prophets haven't gone nowhere. The prophets are always around you, but they're more inclined and in tune to the fact that the majority of you, like 98% of you, are very ignorant of that because you're striving to be a prophet or a prophetess when you never were meant to be. Well, you weren't meant to bow down and kneel down before anybody either. That's the black is red and red is black, the conditioning. You must swipe your card at a different turnstile to get off of that train. But yet, until then, keep listening, keep growing, and keep bringing people aboard. Let's not oppress. Let's represent. That's where we lost that too, and I didn't mention that last night. I was hoping somebody else would. But we have our own opinions. We say we represent something, right? Maybe I'll do a podcast and ask everybody, because I believe it's a tribe thing, a family, a nation. What do you represent? What do you truly represent? So maybe now you can think about it and write some things down, because I guarantee you if I asked you, you wouldn't know what to put down. I'm going to shut you all off, get off of here and go and pick up this water. We went over 40 minutes, so. Rondo, what's up, beloved? Hey, my love. What's up, Snoo? Oh, Slot, what's up, beloved? Herbo, what's up, beloved? Yes, Chatahaya, what's going on, beloved? Good to see y'all, man. Trauma Hawk, good to see you, beloved. What's happening, brother? Herbo, yeah. James Bond, what's going on, beloved? Golden Cooker Empress, what's going on, beloved? How are you? What the hell are these idiots doing to the chat? It's all messed up and oh, they did that. I know, it's all weird. They changed the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Blissfulness, yes. Ascension. I was going to share something in there about years The fact that it's written down, everybody lived over 500 years. Oh yeah, we'll do that later. Okay. Hey, DeAndre Baldwin, what's up, beloved? I don't know. I don't know what a super chat button is. Because I don't know. They got rid of it? That's weird. I don't know. I just noticed. Is it at the bottom? Oh, I go on. That's right. I know that's right. I'm using it. Super chat is on my podcast. I think it should be on my live, right? Let me hold on before I get off here. I don't mind to go over an hour either. I think it's supposed to be on here, right? I never really pay attention to that because I know when like I see it on Cure Meals and stuff like that. So if it's not on here, that's kind of weird. Let me I don't know. I don't have a super chat? Why not? That's really weird. I turned on the what you call it too. That's different. Oh, you know what? Let me see something here. Let me excuse me, turn this sideways. I just want to make sure of something, if y'all don't mind. And then I'll shout the rest of you out and we'll get off of here. It should be a super chat there, hon. No restrictions or nothing. My what you call it is on too. It's monetized and everything. I'm gonna have to ask them, where's the super chat? That's pretty weird. And the visibility is public. So I go to the what you call it, the channel content and stuff. I was downloading some videos, Sean Ryan, Navy SEAL. I might do some what you call it with that. So wow, that's weird. I don't know. I'll ask. Well, like I said, I just told them I'm not no fake Israel. I don't support none of that. No wars. Maybe one of them feels a little funny, weird or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like I said, I stand on laurels. And if they're slaves and obedient slaves, then let them be. You know what I mean? So we're not. We're not them. We are above and beyond them. Yet we have never put ourselves to be caustic in any form or fashion to stand against them. Yet, in their ignorance and their false entitlements and world of lies, they believe that we've all bought the wagon and we have accessed this inability to process our true functioning thoughts as if we're scripted into the lie. Wow, they're just going over stuff. You know what? All the stuff that they did here is just so funny. It's comical. My apologies. It is. No super chat. That is weird. Anyway, my apologies. Yeah, I have a because like I said, I prefer the when I go live though on the podcast, the super chat is there because I've seen that. But I appreciate it. Cashapp is what I prefer. Cashapp, honestly, I really do. Let me move this down. This is what do they got here? Yeah, this is weird. Super chat, they take a percentage of that, whether y'all know it or not. They do. Cash App, I get the majority because I have money set aside in Bitcoin where I get all of it actually. For those who don't know that. Okay. Yeah, people have asked me before, you want cash? I was like, dude, I prefer. Okay, all right. What does it say? My apologies. I'm just reading something. Oh, okay, all right. So yeah, I prefer Cash App because it's only like it's changed as far as I'm concerned. Like right now, I got to take, even though we're still a little ways away from getting all the books. And I got to put 200 back up there too, because I had to use that on my truck. So I'm going to take this out probably today, put it into the account, and I'll probably only get charged like $1 because the Bitcoin, it's already set up in there on my card and everything. Well, they'll charge that, so it may be 50 cents. So compared to most people getting charged $4 and $7 for like $400 or $500, something like that. No, I let it get up to around like 175, maybe 2 something. I've let it get up to like 235, like, and then ordered all the books, and I show all the books I ordered. I just keep showing you. I mean, I show the Amazon or Abe's or Thrift Books, and I show y'all, and then but no, I just go ahead and before it gets too high, even though it's still coming out my Bitcoin, yeah, I just take it out and change, and it sits there in the account, and when all the money's there, so that way I don't have to pay too much, and it's cheaper. It's a lot better than all the other ones. You know what I'm saying? Just for anybody that didn't know that, you can look into it yourselves. Y'all funny. Oh, the real big. What's going on, Susan? What's going on, beloved? How you doing? The real big Dre. What's going on, beloved? And baby girl Slaughter, what's going on? I'm gonna be reading Ring of Cedars real soon. All right, I know you probably got them reading, but I'm gonna read them because I can break it down really good. I've been over there, and it's funny. Everywhere I've been, I've met people who enlighten me because of what I talk about. So, yeah, even the Dutch side who married in my family came from not just Deutschland, but by way of Russia. So, what's now today known as Russia. Yeah, y'all. And they were dark, very darker than me. So anybody thinking, why he likes it? We make everything. The woman, our melanated woman has the ability to make anything. All right? Remember that. The invasions by invasions of species tell them, yes, ma'am. I got to. But I'm going easy today. You know what I mean? Lord, whatever that shit. What's going on, Agadori? McMax forever. Talk about it. All right, beloved. Talk about it. Yes. I got to see the greetings. Anyway, let me get off of here. We're at 54 minutes. I appreciate y'all taking the time. I hope that you got a little something from the information, but you can further research it. That's what I love about Cure Me. When he's reading, he's telling you the source. He's giving you the information. Most people won't pull the information up. We have to share the report. Even though me, here is mine, and this is like our ancestors, but all the information is within us. You dig what I'm saying? But otherwise than that, I appreciate, I respect, and I love you. And somebody did send a did I send appreciation? I think I sent love, right? Yes, I did. Lamont Jr. I appreciate the donation, beloved, because I already got a call. Orlando, I think I got you. Ocelot, I appreciate that. So, yeah, cash. You see the sign. It's $ Indian Gem, Indian, which God, that's the Cashapp. And like I said, I prefer that. I don't know why they don't have a soup chat. I'm going to ask them. But I appreciate you guys coming in. And I appreciate y'all, beloveds. I really do. My beloved sisters and brothers. See y'all here in a few hours. They got down on the wrong side, too. I'm over here like they really messing with everything.